Good morning, everyone. My name is Roland Gwanyama. So today I will be reading a story. The title of my story is The Three Little Pigs. Once upon a time, there was an old mother pig who had three little pigs and not enough food to feed them. So when they were old, she sent them out into the world to seek their fortunes. The first little pig was very lazy. He didn't want to work at all. He built his house out of straw. The second little pig worked a little bit harder, but he was somewhat lazy too. And he built his house out of sticks. Then they sang, danced, and played together the rest of the day. The third little pig worked hard all day and built his house with bricks. It was a sturdy house, complete with fine fireplace and chimney. It looked like it could withstand the strongest wind. The next day, a wolf happened to pass by the lane where the three little pigs lived. He saw the straw house and he smelled the pig inside. He thought the pig will make a mighty fine meal, and his mouth began to water. So he knocked on the door and he said, little pig, let me in, let me in." But the little pig saw the wolf's big paws through a keyhole. So he answered back, No, not by hairs on my tiny chin. The wolf showed his teeth and said, Then I'll huff and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down. So he huffed and puffed and he blew the house down. The wolf opened his jaws very wide and beat down as hard as he could. But the first little pig escaped and ran away to the second little pig. The wolf continued down the lane, and he was passed by the second house made of sticks, and he saw the house and he smelled the pigs inside, and his mouth began to water as he thought about fine dinner they would make. So he knocked on the door. Little pigs, let me in. But the little pigs saw the wolf's pointy ears through a keyhole. So they answered back, No, not by the hairs on our tiny chin. So wolf showed his teeth and said, Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. So he huffed and puffed and he blew the house down. The wolf was greedy and he tried to catch both pigs at once, but he was too greedy and got neither. His big jaws climbed down on nothing but the air, and two little pigs scrambled away as fast as their little hoofs would carry them. The wolf chased them down the lane and he almost caught them, but they made it to the brick house and slapped the door and closed before the wolf could catch them. The three little pigs, they were very frightened. They knew the wolf wanted to eat them, and they were very, very true. And the wolf hadn't eaten all day, and he had worked up a large appetite chasing the pigs around, and now he could smell all three pigs inside, and then the three little pigs would make a lovely feast. So the wolf knocked on the door and said, Little pigs, let me in. But the little pigs saw the wolf's narrow eyes through the keyhole, so they answered back, No, not by the hairs on our tiny chin. So the wolf showed his teeth and said, Then I'll huff and puff, and I will blow your house down. Well, he huffed and he puffed. He puffed and he huffed. And he huffed and he puffed. But he couldn't blow the house down. At last, he was so out of breath that he couldn't huff and couldn't puff anymore. So he stopped to rest and thought a bit. But this was too much. The wolf danced about with the range and saw he would come down the chimney and eat all 3 little pigs for supper. But while climbing on the roof, the little pigs made up a blazing fire and put on the big pot full of water to boil. Then just as the wolf was coming down the chimney, the 3 little pigs pulled off the lid and poured in fell the wolf into scalding water. So the little pig put on the cover again, boiled the wolf, and the 3 little pigs ate him for supper.